Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Now, I want you to imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table, sipping your morning coffee, and suddenly you can't remember where you left your keys. Or maybe you're chatting with a friend and their name slips your mind for a split second. These little moments happen to all of us, especially as we get older. But what if I told you that some of your favorite foods could actually help turn the tide? That's right. Today we're diving into 6 delicious brain-boosting foods that can help keep your memory strong and your mind clear, no matter your age. Let's start with a fruit that's as tasty as it is powerful: blueberries. Now, I know what you're thinking. Berries? Really? But hear me out. Blueberries are like tiny superheroes for your brain. They're packed with antioxidants, which act like little shields against the kind of stress that can slow your brain down over time. Think of antioxidants as your body's cleanup crew, sweeping away the clutter that can cloud your thinking. And here's the really cool part. Studies show that blueberries might even help your brain produce more of a protein called BDNF, which is like fertilizer for your brain cells. More BDNF means your brain can grow new connections more easily, kind of like how plants thrive with the right nutrients. So how do you get more blueberries into your life? Well, the good news is they're super versatile. Add a handful to your morning oatmeal or yogurt for a sweet, tangy kick. Toss them into a smoothie with a banana and a splash of almond milk for a refreshing snack. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, freeze them and blend them into a homemade sorbet, no ice cream maker needed. Fresh or frozen works just fine, so you can enjoy them year-round without breaking the bank. And here's a pro tip: pair them with dark chocolate, for a treat that's as good for your brain as it is for your taste buds. Now let's shift gears to something savory: salmon. If you're a fan of seafood, you're already ahead of the game. Salmon isn't just a fancy dinner option. It's one of the best foods you can eat for your brain. Why? Because it's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly one called DHA. These fats are the building blocks of your brain's cell membranes, helping your neurons communicate more efficiently. Imagine your brain cells chatting with each other on a super-fast Wi-Fi network instead of a dial-up connection. That's the power of omega-3s. Here's the science made simple. As we age, our brains can lose some of their flexibility, making it harder to think quickly or remember details. Omega-3s help keep those brain cells plump and flexible, which means they can keep up with all the mental tasks you throw at them. Plus, salmon is a great source of vitamin D, which plays a role in mood regulation and cognitive health. Low vitamin D levels have been linked to memory issues, so this fish is like a 2-for-1 deal. But wait, what if you're not a seafood person? Don't worry. Other fatty fish like sardines or mackerel offer similar benefits, and if you're vegetarian, you can get plant-based omega-3s from foods like walnuts or flax seeds. We'll cover those in a bit. But back to salmon. Aim to eat it at least twice a week. Try baking it with a sprinkle of lemon and herbs for a light, flavorful dinner, or toss grilled salmon chunks into a salad with leafy greens, another brain booster we'll talk about soon. The key is to make it a regular part of your routine without feeling like a chore. And here's the best part. Eating salmon doesn't mean you have to give up comfort food. Swap out your usual fried chicken for baked salmon patties with a whole grain cracker. Or mix canned salmon into a pasta dish with olive oil and cherry tomatoes. Simple, satisfying, and brain-friendly. Even your grandkids will love it. I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but where do I start? The beauty of these foods is that they're not just good for your brain, they're good for your whole body. Blueberries support heart health, and salmon is packed with protein to keep your muscles strong. So you're not just sharpening your memory, you're investing in your overall well-being. As we wrap up this part of the conversation, let's take a moment to recap. We've talked about how blueberries act like a shield for your brain cells, and how salmon fuels them with omega-3s. These are 2 of the 6 foods we'll cover today, and each one brings something special to the table. Whether you're adding berries to your breakfast or grilling up some salmon for dinner, you're taking small, meaningful steps toward protecting your memory and staying sharp as a tack. Now that we've covered these 2 power players, let's talk about another food that's often overlooked, but packs a serious punch when it comes to brain health. It's crunchy, it's nutty, and it might already be in your pantry. Can you guess what it is? Stay with me. We'll dive into the next brain-boosting gem in just a moment. All right, let's pick up where we left off. We've already covered blueberries and salmon, two incredible brain boosters. Now let's talk about something that might already be sitting in your pantry: walnuts. These little gems might look like tiny brains, a fun coincidence, but their real magic lies in what they do for your brain. If you're thinking, wait, didn't we just talk about omega-3s with salmon? You're absolutely right. But walnuts bring a different kind of omega-3 to the table called ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, which your body can convert into the brain-friendly DHA we mentioned earlier. It's not quite as direct as getting DHA from salmon, but every bit counts, especially when you're stacking healthy habits. Here's why walnuts deserve a spot in your daily routine. They're not just about omega-3s. They're also rich in antioxidants like vitamin E and polyphenols, which act like a cleanup crew for free radicals, those pesky molecules that can damage brain cells over time. And let's not forget the protein and fiber they pack, which help keep your energy steady throughout the day. Ever feel foggy after a sugary snack? Walnuts can help smooth out those peaks and crashes, keeping your mind sharp and your mood even keel. So how do you make walnuts a regular part of your life without getting bored? Start small. A handful a day, about an ounce, is all you need. Sprinkle them over your morning cereal or yogurt for a satisfying crunch. Blend them into a homemade pesto with basil, garlic, and olive oil. Then toss it with whole grain pasta for a brain-boosting dinner. If you're a baker, try grinding walnuts into a flour and mixing them into muffin or pancake batter. Pro tip: toast them lightly in a dry pan for a few minutes to bring out their nutty flavor. Just don't walk away, or they'll burn faster than you can say, brain food. And what if you're worried about calories? Walnuts are calorie-dense, yes, but they're also nutrient-dense. Think of them as an investment in your long-term health. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine even found that people who ate a handful of nuts daily had lower rates of heart disease and longer lifespans. So a small portion goes a long way. Now, let's shift gears to something green and leafy, because yes, your mom was onto something when she told you to eat your vegetables. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, collards, and Swiss chard are like a multivitamin wrapped in crisp, vibrant leaves. They're loaded with folate, vitamin K, lutein, and beta-carotene, nutrients that work together to protect your brain from oxidative stress and support healthy blood flow. In fact, research from the Rush Memory and Aging Project found that people who ate 1 or 2 servings of leafy greens daily experienced slower cognitive decline compared to those who rarely ate them. That's like turning back the clock on brain aging. But wait, if you're not a fan of bitter greens, don't worry. You don't have to choke down raw kale to reap the benefits. The key is to prepare them in a way that suits your taste buds. Try sautéing spinach with a splash of olive oil and garlic until it wilts into a tender, savory side dish. Add chopped kale to a hearty lentil soup where it softens and blends seamlessly into the broth. Or blend Swiss chard into a smoothie with frozen mango and a dollop of Greek yogurt. Trust me, you won't taste the greens, but your brain will thank you. Here's a trick I love. Use leafy greens as a base for sandwiches or wraps instead of lettuce. Pile a whole grain wrap with hummus, roasted veggies, and a handful of arugula for a quick brain-boosting lunch. Or layer spinach into your favorite omelet with mushrooms and tomatoes. Simple, delicious, and nutritious. And if you're short on time, pre-washed salad mixes or frozen greens like steamed spinach are perfectly fine. Convenience matters, especially when you're building sustainable habits. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, these are great, but where's the flavor? Enter the unsung hero of brain health: spices. Let's zoom in on one in particular: turmeric. You've probably seen it popping up in everything from golden lattes to supplement bottles. And for good reason. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, which has powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Chronic inflammation is like a slow-burning fire in the body, and over time, it can contribute to brain fog and memory issues. Curcumin helps douse those flames, protecting your neurons from damage. But here's the catch: your body doesn't absorb curcumin easily on its own. The solution? Pair turmeric with black pepper. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, boosts curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. So next time you're making a dish with turmeric, add a dash of pepper. Try sprinkling turmeric into scrambled eggs, mixing it into a vinaigrette for roasted vegetables, or stirring it into a warm glass of almond milk with cinnamon and a touch of honey, aka golden milk. A cozy bedtime drink that's as soothing as it is smart. And if you're feeling adventurous, whip up a batch of turmeric-spiced lentil stew. Lentils themselves are brain-boosting thanks to their protein, fiber, and B vitamins, which support nerve function. Add turmeric, cumin, and a splash of coconut milk for a creamy, fragrant dish that's perfect with brown rice or whole grain naan. The beauty of this meal is that it's budget-friendly, easy to make in bulk, and freezes well for future brain-boosting lunches. All right, we've covered walnuts, leafy greens, and turmeric. 3 more foods that are as practical as they are powerful. But wait, there's still one more food to share in this part of our journey. Let's talk about something sweet and indulgent that also happens to be fantastic for your brain. Dark chocolate. Yes, you read that right. Now, before you grab that candy bar from the pantry, let me clarify. We're talking about dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa solids. The higher the cocoa content, the more flavonoids, antioxidants, and other brain-loving compounds you'll get. Here's the science made simple. Flavonoids in dark chocolate improve blood flow to the brain, which means more oxygen and nutrients reaching those hard-working neurons. Studies have even shown that regular consumption of flavonoid-rich chocolate can enhance memory and mood. Plus, dark chocolate stimulates the production of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that can lift your spirits on a tough day. It's like giving your brain a warm hug. The trick is moderation. A square or two a day, about an ounce, is enough to get the benefits without overdoing it on sugar or calories. Pair it with blueberries for a double dose of antioxidants, or melt it into a smoothie with avocado and almond butter for a decadent, brain-boosting treat. If you're baking, substitute regular chocolate chips with dark chocolate chunks in muffins or cookies, or try grating dark chocolate over a bowl of Greek yogurt and fresh raspberry. It's like dessert, but with a side of mental clarity. And here's a fun fact. Dark chocolate also contains magnesium, which plays a role in regulating neurotransmitters and may help reduce stress. So if you're someone who unwinds with a late-night snack, swap out the chips for a square of dark chocolate. Your brain and your taste buds will thank you. All right, let's dive into the final 2 brain-boosting foods we've saved just for you. If you're thinking, wait, spices and oils? That sounds more like something from my pantry than my plate. You're not wrong. But stick with me here, because these everyday ingredients are quietly powerful when it comes to keeping your mind sharp. Let's start with the golden liquid that's been a kitchen staple for centuries, extra virgin olive oil. Now, I know olive oil isn't exactly a headline-grabbing superfood, but hear me out. This isn't just about drizzling it over salad. It's about how the right kind of fat can be a game-changer for your brain. See, extra virgin olive oil, EVOO for short, is loaded with monounsaturated fats and polyphenols, which are like a 1-2 punch for brain health. Monounsaturated fats help reduce inflammation and keep your blood vessels flexible, ensuring your brain gets the steady blood flow it needs to function at its best. Meanwhile, polyphenols act as antioxidants, protecting your neurons from oxidative stress, the kind of wear and tear that can slow your thinking over time. Here's the science made simple. A study published in the journal Aging Cell found that older adults who consumed higher amounts of olive oil had better memory and cognitive function compared to those who didn't. That's because EVOO supports the production of proteins that help your brain cells communicate more efficiently. Think of it as upgrading your brain's Wi-Fi network. And here's the kicker. It's not just about memory. Olive oil has also been linked to lower rates of depression and even improved mood regulation. Who knew your pantry could double as a pharmacy? But how do you use it without going overboard? First, choose extra virgin olive oil, which retains the most nutrients. Avoid using it for high-heat cooking. Save that for avocado oil or coconut oil, and instead drizzle it over roasted veggies, mix it into dressings, or dip whole grain bread into it with a sprinkle of herbs. My favorite trick: blend a teaspoon of olive oil into your morning smoothie. It adds creaminess and helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in those leafy greens we talked about earlier. And if you're feeling fancy, whip up a batch of olive oil popcorn. Just heat a few tablespoons in a pot. Add kernels and season with nutritional yeast and a pinch of turmeric for a brain-boosting snack that's anything but boring. Now let's move on to something creamy and green that's been making waves in the health world: avocados. If you're picturing guacamole, you're on the right track. But avocados are so much more than a party dip. They're packed with monounsaturated fats, the same brain-friendly kind as olive oil, vitamin E, and folate, all of which work together to protect your neurons and support healthy blood flow. Vitamin E in particular has been shown to slow cognitive decline in older adults, making avocados a powerhouse for long-term brain health. But wait, there's more. Avocados also contain lutein, an antioxidant that accumulates in the brain and has been linked to improved memory and processing speed. A study in the Journal of Clinical Interventions in Aging found that older adults who ate one avocado a day for 6 months saw significant improvements in attention and problem-solving skills. That's right, this humble fruit can actually make you think faster and clearer. So how do you get more avocados into your routine? Start with the obvious. Spread mashed avocado on whole grain toast and top it with a poached egg for a breakfast that keeps your brain humming. Add slices to salads for a creamy twist, or blend them into a dressing with lime juice and cilantro for a tangy sauce that pairs perfectly with grilled fish or veggies. And if you're worried about ripening, here's a pro tip. Store unripe avocados in a paper bag with an apple or banana. They'll ripen in a day or two thanks to the ethylene gas those fruits release. Once ripe, store them in the fridge to extend their shelf life. Now let's take a moment to recap the 6 brain-boosting foods we've covered today. We started with blueberries, nature's tiny antioxidants that protect your neurons like shields. Then we moved to salmon, rich in omega-3s to keep your brain cells flexible and communicative. Walnuts brought a plant-based omega-3 option to the table, while leafy greens loaded us up with folate and vitamin K. Turmeric and dark chocolate added anti-inflammatory and mood-boosting benefits, and now olive oil and avocados have wrapped up our list with their healthy fats and antioxidants. Together, these foods form a kind of dream team for your brain, each bringing something unique to the table. The best part? You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight to see results. Start small. Swap your usual cooking oil for olive oil. Add a handful of walnuts to your morning routine, or aim for 2 servings of leafy greens a week. Over time, these little changes stack up, creating a foundation of brain health that supports you well into your golden years. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. If you forget to eat salmon one week, focus on getting more avocados or blueberries instead. Flexibility is key. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods before? Did one surprise you more than the others? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Maybe you've got a brain-boosting recipe to recommend. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on staying sharp and vibrant at any age. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Your brain is one of your most precious assets, and taking care of it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Whether it's a spoonful of blueberries, a slice of avocado toast, or a sprinkle of turmeric in your soup, every bite is a step toward protecting your memory and enjoying life to the fullest. So go ahead, take that first bite, savor it, and know you're doing something wonderful for your future self. Here's to living your best life one brain-boosting bite at a time.